Good morning, my dear students. In the last session, you have studied about the branches of biology. In this session, you are going to study about some terms of biology. Already you have studied in your school, and these terms, even you are going to study these terms. You will use these terms in these 2 years. First year as well as second year. Cell is the structural and functional unit of life. Cell, it is the structural and functional unit of life. All living organisms, their body is made up of a cell. If it is in case of unicellular organism, the body is made up of one cell. If it is multicellular organisms, the body is made up of many cells. So, in case of living organisms, all the living organisms, their body is made up of a cell. So, we call it as a basic unit of life, a structural or functional unit of life. An organism is being formed by the help of a cell. Cell can be classified into two types: prokaryotic cell, eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell, the cell with the primitive type of nucleus. The cell with primitive type of nucleus is called as prokaryotic cell. Pro means primitive, karyon means nucleus. A cell with primitive type of nucleus means the cell does not have the nuclear membrane. The genetic material seems to be found lying in the cytoplasm. So there is no difference. Yes, we cannot differentiate the cytoplasm and nucleoplasm. Such a cell is called as prokaryotic cell. The organisms that possess prokaryotic cell are called as prokaryotes. The organisms that possess prokaryotic cell are called as prokaryotes. Prokaryotes are included in a kingdom that is called Monera. They are included in a kingdom called Monera. So here, when the nucleus, which is not being covered by a nuclear membrane, when the genetic material is found to be lying in the cytoplasm, this condition of a cell is called as nucleoid. It is called nucleoid. So, nucleoid is another feature of prokaryotes. It is seen in a prokaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cell. Eu means true. Karyon means nucleus. A cell which has a true nucleus is called as eukaryotic cell. A cell which has a true nucleus is called as eukaryotic cell. Means a cell in which the nucleus is being embedded by the nuclear membrane. There is clear separation between cytoplasm and nucleoplasm. The organisms that possess eukaryotic cell are called as eukaryotes. Eukaryotes are being included in 4 kingdoms, 4 groups. They are Protista. Kingdom Protista includes unicellular organism. diatoms, dinoflagellates, euglenoids, protozoans. Yes, Mycota. Kingdom Mycota includes fungi. Plantae, all plants. Yes, they are multicellular. Body is made up of many cells and they are eukaryotic. And animals. Animals are also multicellular and having eukaryotic cell. So, we can find a eukaryotic cell or plant cell and animal cell. So, there is a difference in plant cell as well as animal cell. So, there are so many differences. First and foremost, you all know, yes, in plant cell there is a outermost covering that is the cell wall. Okay, next to the cell membrane. So cell are of two types, prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Tissue, group of cells with a common origin, structure and function is called tissue. Group of cells which should be having same origin, structure and should have a common function, then only it can be called, those group of cells can be called as a tissue. Yes, only if we ask a question, define. Yes, and if the students tell, there are some students they give the answer, the group of cells. Okay, so is it a complete answer for the tissue? No. Only when the cells have common origin, structure and function, so then it can be called as a tissue. Tissue are found both in plants as well as in animals, because plants and animals are multicellular organisms. Plants and the animals are multicellular. So in the tissues in plants, they are classified into permanent tissue as well as meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue is in continuous cell division. Permanent tissue have obtained a specific structure and function, which might be simple permanent or complex permanent. In case of animals, there are 4 tissues: epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue and nervous tissue. Next, organ. Group of tissue having specific function. Group of tissue having specific function forms the organs. Yes, that is called an organ. Organ system. Group of organs having one or more specific functions, common functions. So that is called as organ system. So how is an multicellular organism formed organization? Cell, tissue, organ systems, many organ systems together we could find the organisms. So there are different types of organ systems. For example, if it is in animals like digestive, circulatory, excretory, reproductive, yes, endocrine system. So likewise we could find. So these you have studied even in your 8th standard as well as 9th standard, fundamental unit of life. In 8th standard, the cell structure and function. Cell membrane. Cell membrane is the outermost thin covering of a cell. Cell membrane, it is the outermost thin covering of a cell. It is also known as plasma membrane. It is also called as plasma membrane. This is a cell membrane. So it is the thin outermost covering of a cell which separates the inner contents of a cell from the outside environment. It is semi-permeable, means it will only allow the selective substance to move in or out of a cell. And it provides a specific shape to the cell. Next, cell organelles. Cell organelles are the structures which are found lying within the cytoplasm. They are bounded by the membrane. They are having the membrane. Examples, it is endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, powerhouse of cell, lysosome, centrosomes, centrioles, plastids. Yes, so that is called as cell organelles. So cell organelles are found in the cytoplasm. So they are the structures, okay, found lying in the cytoplasm. So where do the cell organelles are found lying? So they are the specialized structures found lying within a cell, and they have the specific function. So where is that cytoplasm present? Cytoplasm is found outside the nucleus. So this is nucleus and this is cell membrane. Yes. So outside the nucleus and inside the cell membrane, it is the part of the cell which is inside cell membrane and outside the nucleus, and it is the semi-liquid substance. This part, it is the cytoplasm in which specialized structures called cell organelles are being found. Protoplasm. What is protoplasm? It is the living part of a cell which consists of both the cytoplasm and nucleus. When we tell protoplasm, nucleus plus cytoplasm, that is called as protoplasm. Within the cell membrane, whatever the contents are present within a cell, so that is called as protoplasm, living part of a cell which includes both nucleus as well as cytoplasm. So that is called as protoplasm. Next, nucleus. Nucleus, it is the largest cell organelle, almost found to be lying in the center of of a cell. It is found to be lying in the center of a cell, and it is somewhat spherical in shape, and nucleus is being surrounded by a membrane called nuclear membrane. Yes, and it is darkly stainable part of the structure. It is a structure, darkly stainable structure present within the cell, eukaryotic cell. Yes, so within the nucleus there is the genetic material present, hereditary material present, that we call it as chromatin fiber or chromosome. So within the nucleus there is the hereditary information present in the form of the highly coiled structure called as chromatin fiber or chromosomes. Chromosomes are the thread-like structures located inside the nucleus. See, listen here. Chromatin fibers are visible when the cell is in non-dividing. It is not in the process of division. Chromosomes are visible when the cell has undergone the process of cell division. Or one more definition for the chromosome, it is tightly coiled DNA, highly coiled DNA is called as chromosome. Highly coiled DNA is called as chromosome. It is like this. These chromosomes are only visible when the cell is in metaphase stage of cell division. So these are called as arms of a chromosomes, that is called as a chromatid. Chromatid and are attached to a centromere. Yes, so these are called as arms of the chromosomes called as chromatids and attached to the centromere. So here in your first year you will study about types of the chromosomes based upon the position of the centromere. The next term, it is gene. Gene, it is the basic unit of heredity. Basic unit of heredity. Gene is defined as specific segments of DNA. Specific segments of DNA having definite number of nucleotides. Having definite number of nucleotides. That is called as a gene. Next term, allele. The various forms of a gene or an alternate form of a gene is called as allele. For a gene, there will always be its alternate form. For a character, yes, so like for example, height of a pea plant, so we could find tall as well as a dwarf. So one will be dominant and another will be recessive. So what is an allele? Another term, it is an allele. So it is an alternate form of forms of a gene. So next term, it is cell division. Cell division means it is a process where a parental cell divides to produce two new daughter cells, or it is a process where the parental cell divides to produce the daughter cell. That is called cell division. So cell division are of three types. A mitosis, it is called as direct cell division, where a cell, a mitosis, a cell first it elongates, nucleus also elongates like this, and a constriction is formed like this in the center, and later it will be divided like this to form so this is called as a mitosis, or like this you can see here. A cell, we can find a constriction will be formed, okay, which divides a parental cell into two daughter cell. So another, it is mitosis. Mitosis is a type of cell division in which a parental cell divides to produce daughter cells with equal number of chromosomes. Mitosis is a type of cell division in which a parental cell divides to produce the daughter cells having the same number of chromosomes. A cell when undergoes the mitosis produces only two daughter cells. Which are having similar number of chromosomes as that of the parental cell. Say for example, a parental cell has initially 46 number of chromosome. After the mitosis, the daughter cells also has the 46 number of chromosomes. So it is called, mitosis is called as equational cell division. So this type of cell division takes place in case of somatic cells, body cells, in case of animals. If it is in plants, where do mitosis takes place? Mitosis takes place in case of root tip, shoot tip, where there is meristematic tissue. Okay, so meristematic tissue where it is present, though there we can find the process called as mitosis. So mitosis is a type of cell division. So due to the mitosis, what are the important significance? Growth occurs in case of multicellular organism. Yes, or whenever there is the crack, wound heal, so repair will be made by the help of the mitosis. So next some terms. Meiosis. The third type of cell division, it is meiosis. Meiosis is a type of cell division in which the daughter cells have the chromosomes half of that of parental cell. It is a type of cell division in which the daughter cells have the half the number of chromosomes of the parental cell. Meiosis generally takes place in case of germ cells only during the time of gametogenesis, gamete formation. The daughter cells formed, it will be the gametes. So in mitosis, two daughter cells are formed. In meiosis, as a result of meiosis, yes, we could find the gametes. There are the four daughter cells are formed. So here meiosis, cell division, is also called as the reductional cell division because there is no retaining of the chromosome number. Chromosome number will be reduced to half. And importance of meiosis is, so formation of gametes, and we could find it leads to the variation as well as maintenance of chromosome number. Even in your first year, you will study about these types of cell division. Already you have studied. Next, functional aspects, physiological aspect. Yes, functional aspect, it is digestion. Digestion is defined as a process of conversion of complex food into simpler absorbable units. Okay, so digestion, it is defined as process of conversion of complex food into simpler absorbable form is called as digestion. Respiration is defined as the process of exchange of oxygen from the environment and the carbon dioxide produced from the cells. So that is called as respiration. Excretion, the process of removal of the nitrogenous waste, metabolic waste from the body is called as excretion. It is called as excretion. Blood. So there is a system called a circulatory system which made up of the blood vessels through which the blood flows. Yes, what is a blood? Blood is the specialized connective tissue. It is the specialized connective tissue which is made up of fluid matrix called as plasma. It is made up of a matrix called plasma which is fluid in nature in which the cells are present. Blood cells, erythrocytes, RBC, yes, leukocytes, WBCs, and platelets. So blood is the specialized connective tissue or also a fluid connective tissue. Gland. What is a gland? Which you come across in endocrine system, chemical control and coordination. In life process chapter you have been studied. What is a gland? A cell or a tissue which is meant for secretion, it can be called as a gland. A cell can be called as a gland or a tissue can be called as a gland only when it is meant for secretion. Only when it is meant for secretion. Glands are of two types. Endocrine glands and exocrine glands. So both it is called as heterocrine glands. What are endocrine glands? Endocrine glands are also called as ductless glands. Means these glands, they produce the secretions and they do not have the ducts to carry the secretions. Okay, so their secretions are being the glands which secrete their secretions are directly poured into the blood stream and reach to the target organs. Okay, so such glands are called as endocrine glands. So endocrine glands are also called as the ductless glands. So there are different types of endocrine glands: pituitary, pineal, thyroid, parathyroid, yes, adrenal, etc. These are few. Okay, are endocrine glands. The secretion of endocrine glands are called as the hormones. Next term, hormones. Hormones are non-nutrient chemicals. So they are non-nutrients. They do not produce nutrients. Non-nutrient chemicals produced in trace amount. Produced in trace amount and are carried by the bloodstream. How is it carried to the target region, target organ? It is by the bloodstream. How? Yes, there are no special ducts. It is by the help of blood. So these are the non-nutrient chemicals. They are also known as chemical messenger. They carry some special messages. Next, yes, term, it is homeostasis. Important. So you will study about this maintenance of constant internal environment. Maintenance of constant internal environment irrespective of changing external environment. That is called homeostasis. Homeostasis is defined as maintenance of constant internal environment irrespective of changing external environment is called homeostasis. Means, see here, we the human beings, for example, human beings, so they are having a capacity to show homeostasis. How? Their body temperature will be maintained at 37 degrees irrespective changing external environment. If it is in a summer, when there is external environment temperature increases. Okay, it might even cross up to 45, reach 45 or cross 45 degrees Celsius. But our body temperature, internal body temperature will be maintained constant. If it is in winter, when the surrounding environmental temperature of the humans will be decreased, but we start shivering and our body temperature also decreases. But again by shivering, what we do? We shiver and our body temperature will be again brought to the normal. So that is called as homeostasis. Maintenance of constant internal environment irrespective of changing external environment. Okay, so that is called as homeostasis. So in case of humans, we show homeostasis, that is thermoregulation as well as osmoregulation. If it is summer, we produce more sweat to bring the body temperature to the normal optimum temperature. In winter, we start shivering. So based on whether the organisms have capacity to show homeostasis or not, so they are being classified into two groups. Poikilothermus, or also known as cold-blooded, and another it is homeothermus. Poikilothermus. Poikilothermus means those organisms, the animals which do not have a capacity to maintain the constant body temperature or osmoregulation, osmolarity of body fluids. They cannot show homeostasis. Okay, so their body temperature will change according to the surrounding. Such organisms are called Poikilothermus. Fishes, amphibians, reptiles. Yes, so they are Poikilothermus, are also called as cold-blooded animals. In phylums you come across. Even you study this here. Homeothermus, warm-blooded birds as well as mammals. The animals which can show homeostasis. They can maintain their constant internal environment. They are called as homeothermus. Okay, so homeothermus or warm-blooded animals. So in this session, these are some of the terms which you have studied. In the next section, you will study some more other terms in biology. Thank you.